Hey Betty, and welcome to another deep dive. This time we're taking a closer look at hypnovibes. You know, Naomi's channel on YouTube. Specifically, her video titled, Hypno Channeling Connects to Higher Consciousness.
Right.
Delivering messages from channeled energy, not the participant.
Yeah.
A revolutionary path to universal wisdom.
Wow.
So if you recall, Naomi is a level 2 quantum healing hypnotherapist who helps people connect with higher levels of consciousness.
Right.
But in this video, she's actually working with a channeler named Navi.
Interesting.
And together, they're going to unpack some pretty amazing revelations about hidden technologies, open contact with extraterrestrials, and how this might actually boost humanity's spiritual evolution.
I'm intrigued already.
So one of the things that really jumped out at me was this concept of Naomi kind of like tapping into what she calls source energy during a session.
Yeah, that's pretty fascinating.
It's like she's accessing some sort of universal database of knowledge and wisdom.
Well, it's interesting you should say that.
Oh, really?
Because when we think about like source energy in this context, it's kind of like, you know how people might view figures like Jesus or Moses as channels of divine knowledge. Right. So in a way, that's kind of what Naomi's trying to do here is access that same like universal consciousness, but through the practice of hypno-channeling.
Okay, so I'm starting to see the connection here.
Yeah.
But what exactly did this source energy reveal during this particular video?
Well, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because the channeled message drops some pretty big bombshells about hidden technologies that supposedly already exist here on Earth.
Well, what?
We're talking about like advanced healing methods.
Wow.
Portals. Things that sound straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Hold on, portals.
Yeah.
Like, as in, like, those things that can transport you to another dimension.
That's what the channeled message seems to be suggesting. And this idea actually ties into a larger concept called cosmic disclosure. Which basically means that these advanced technologies at some point will be revealed to humanity. Potentially, maybe through contact with extraterrestrial beings.
Now that you mention extraterrestrial beings, I know that you're fascinated by conspiracy theories, Betty.
Right.
So get this. The channeled message claims that these technologies are actually being deliberately kept from the public.
Wow.
And are instead being sold off to corporations.
Serious.
Can you imagine the uproar if that turned out to be true?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's a pretty huge claim.
Right.
And you can totally understand why people might feel like angry or betrayed if they thought these life-altering technologies were being hidden for profit, you know? But the channeled message emphasizes that this disclosure, even if it's upsetting at first, is actually part of a larger plan for human evolution. One that ultimately leads to spiritual growth, unity, peace, and empowerment.
So it's like we're being prepped for some sort of major upgrade as a species?
Exactly, like a cosmic wake-up call, you know?
Wow.
And this raises a really interesting question. Like, how would this kind of disclosure change our values and priorities? What if it shifted us away from, like, these material pursuits and more towards a deeper understanding of our interconnectedness?
That would be a pretty radical shift.
It would.
But before we go too deep into, you know, the societal implications, let's talk a little bit about Naomi's personal journey.
Sure.
In the video, she mentions experimenting with mushrooms. And visualizing source energy as this vast and infinite love.
No, that's interesting, Betty, because I know you've been exploring meditation and mindfulness lately.
Yeah, I have.
So you might find this resonates with you.
I think so.
You know, this idea of like using psychedelics as tools for spiritual exploration and raising consciousness.
Right.
It's all about connecting with something bigger than ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
Something transcendent.
Absolutely. And here's where it gets even wilder. Naomi actually believes she's channeled source energy before.
Oh, wow.
Not just in this lifetime, but potentially in past lives.
Really?
On other planets.
Now, that definitely takes us into some more like esoteric territory. Like we're talking about concepts like reincarnation, soul evolution, basically the idea that our essence isn't just limited to this single lifetime or even to this planet.
Right. But before we jump down that rabbit hole, let's talk a little bit about Navi. It seems like he's not just a client, but also Naomi's channeling partner.
Right.
And his expertise seems to lie in providing this really practical and philosophical advice for everyday life.
Well, what's fascinating about Navi is that he seems to be able to take even the most like mundane questions and extract these extraordinary insights. You know, he seems to be encouraging us to look for that deeper meaning in everything we do.
Right.
To be more present, more mindful in our daily lives.
That's a good reminder.
It is.
Okay, so we've got advanced technologies, aliens, past lives, and now this everyday wisdom. But things take a bit of a spooky turn.
Oh.
When Naomi describes a dream that she had.
Oh, okay.
And she mentions this orange octopus-like being trying to drag her down and like prevent her from assisting with open contact.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty vivid image.
It is. It's a little unsettling, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, it's natural to feel uneasy
Sure.
when we encounter something unknown like that.
Yeah.
But what if we're misinterpreting this being's intentions? Like maybe it wasn't actually trying to harm Naomi.
Right.
Maybe it was just curious about her energy and trying to understand like her role in this whole cosmic unfolding, you know.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
It is, isn't it?
So maybe there's more to this dream than meets the eye.
Perhaps.
And who knows, maybe these kinds of encounters with the unknown are actually more common than we think.
And maybe we just haven't tuned into them yet.
Right.
You know? Yeah, it really does make you think, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And it actually reminds me of Naomi's book series.
Oh, yeah.
The Next Level.
Right.
Like, it's all about, you know, raising consciousness.
Yeah.
Empowering people. And you mentioned that you're interested in self-improvement, Betty. So you might want to check that out. It's available on Amazon.
Great.
But, you know, what's interesting to me is that Naomi doesn't present this ability to connect with source energy as something like exclusive or mystical.
Right.
Like, she really believes that it's accessible to anyone.
Yeah, that's a pretty empowering message.
It is. But let's circle back to that shocking revelation about these hidden technologies being withheld, right? The channeled message suggests that there's a bigger plan at play, that these things will be revealed when the time is right.
Like, we're being prepped for some kind of cosmic unveiling.
Right.
And the big question is, are we ready?
Are we ready?
How will we react when it happens?
Right.
Will we embrace these new technologies and the changes that they bring?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. And the channeled message actually seems to suggest that humanity will initially go through like a period of shock and anger.
Oh, okay.
But ultimately it'll lead to, you know, spiritual growth and a deeper understanding of our place in the universe.
So it's like those challenges and disruptions that we face, both personally and collectively, might actually be catalysts for evolution.
Interesting, it is.
And that's where, you know, the importance of peace and unity really comes in, right?
Absolutely.
Like, if we're going to navigate these changes successfully, we need to come together.
We do.
Support each other.
Yeah.
And recognize that shared humanity.
That's right. The channeled message really emphasizes our interconnectedness, you know?
Right.
Like, there's no real outsiders. It's a message of inclusivity and compassion.
Absolutely.
A reminder that we're all in this together.
And this brings up the concept of free will, right?
Yeah.
The channeled message seems to acknowledge that we have the freedom to make our own choices, but there are also these forces beyond our control that are kind of guiding us towards our ultimate destiny.
So it's like a balance.
Yeah, it is balance.
Between, you know, acknowledging that higher power, but still taking responsibility for our actions.
Right, exactly.
It requires a lot of surrender and trust in the process.
Trust in the process.
Yeah.
The channeled message also hints at some pretty significant changes coming to our current systems.
Like what?
Like financial, educational, medical, you know, the whole shebang.
Wow.
It suggests that these systems are outdated and no longer serve humanity's best interests.
So this is where that shift in consciousness comes in.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
If we're going to create new system that actually align with our evolving values, we need to change our way of thinking.
Right.
Our priorities, our understanding of what truly matters.
It's like we're being called to step outside of our comfort zones.
Absolutely.
Challenge the status quo.
Yeah.
And embrace a new way of being in the world.
Which can be a really scary proposition for a lot of people.
Yes.
You know, change is often met with resistance.
Absolutely.
Even when it's for the better.
Right.
But the channeled message seems to be urging us to have faith, to trust the process.
Trust the process.
And to believe in our ability to create that brighter future.
It's definitely easier said than done.
It is.
But let's break down some of the specifics here.
Okay.
The channeled message specifically calls out money.
Oh, interesting.
As a source of addiction and distraction.
Suggesting that, our current financial system kind of keeps us trapped in this cycle of consumerism and scarcity.
It's a pretty thought-provoking critique of our economic model. It challenges us to think about the real cost of our material pursuits.
Right.
Both to ourselves and to the planet.
The channeled message actually paints a pretty bleak picture.
Does it?
Of this endless chase for wealth and possessions.
Right.
A chase that often leads to emptiness and dissatisfaction.
Right.
It's a reminder that true fulfillment comes from within, not from external things.
Which aligns with, this growing movement towards minimalism and conscious consumption.
Exactly.
People are starting to realize that happiness isn't about accumulating more stuff.
Right.
It's about simplifying their life.
Yeah.
Focusing on what truly matters.
And it's not just about individual choices, is it?
The channeled message suggests that we need to create systems that support this shift in values.
Yeah.
Systems that prioritize well-being, sustainability, and the common good.
Absolutely. It's a call to action.
It is.
A challenge to reimagine our society in a way that's more just, equitable, and fulfilling for everyone.
Okay, now let's address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
The role of extraterrestrial beings in all of this.
Right.
The channeled message seems to imply that they're not just observing us, but they're actively involved in our evolution.
Oh, wow.
Offering guidance and support from behind the scenes.
It's a controversial topic, for sure.
It is.
But if we're open to the possibility that we're not alone in the universe, then it's not that much of a stretch to imagine that these beings might be invested in our well-being.
Which brings us back to open contact.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
The channeled message suggests that this contact is inevitable, that it's just a matter of time before these beings reveal themselves to the world.
It's pretty mind-boggling to think about.
It is.
Like what that would actually look like, how it would change our understanding of ourselves and our place in the cosmos.
It would be a paradigm shift of epic proportions.
Would.
Like imagine the potential for knowledge sharing, technological advancements, and spiritual growth. It's incredible.
It's pretty amazing.
It is. But of course, there are valid concerns about the risks involved as well.
Right.
But the channeled message emphasizes that these beings come in peace.
Okay.
That their intention is to help us evolve to our highest potential.
Yeah. So it's a message of hope.
It is.
And possibility.
Yeah.
A reminder that we're not alone on this journey.
Right.
And that even amidst challenges, we have the power to create a future that's brighter than we can imagine.
Absolutely. So, okay, but what about those of us who aren't, having these psychedelic journeys or recalling past lives on other planets?
Right.
Like, how do we connect with this source energy in our everyday lives?
Well, that's where Navi's practical advice comes in. He encourages us to just be present.
Yeah.
Appreciate the beauty in those ordinary moments and to ask those deep questions about ourselves and the world around us.
Okay.
It's not about seeking some grand mystical experience.
Yeah.
It's more about finding the depth and the meaning in the everyday.
So it's more about going inward than outward.
Exactly.
Like instead of waiting for aliens to show up
or
portals to open,
Yeah.
we should be focusing on cultivating a deeper connection with ourselves and the world around us.
Absolutely. It's about finding the extraordinary within the ordinary.
Right.
Recognizing that every moment has that potential for growth and connection.
I like that.
And, Betty, you mentioned in your notes that you find peace in gardening. So maybe that's one way that you're already tapping into that sense of interconnectedness.
That's an interesting connection.
It is.
But I'm still a little, I don't know.
What is it?
Hung up on that dream that Naomi described.
Yeah.
With that orange octopus-like being.
Right. It's pretty creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little creepy.
Yeah, it's understandable to feel uneasy.
Sure.
When we encounter something so unknown.
Of course.
But remember, fear often stems from a lack of understanding.
Right.
So what if this being was simply trying to communicate in a way that we don't fully comprehend? What if its appearance and behavior were just like a reflection of our own fears and projections?
That's a really thought-provoking perspective.
It is, isn't it?
Like maybe we need to be more open to different forms of communication.
Absolutely.
Even if they seem strange or unsettling at first.
That's right. If we approach these encounters with curiosity and compassion, we might be surprised by what we learn.
I think you're right.
The universe is full of mysteries.
It is.
And who knows what wonders await us when we step outside our comfort zones and embrace the unknown.
Absolutely. Well, Betty, after this deep dive into Naomi's work and these channeled messages, what are your takeaways?
That's a good question.
Like, if these hidden technologies were revealed tomorrow, how would it change your life? What would you do differently?
That's a good question for all of us to think about.
It is.
You know, would we embrace these advancements? Or would we cling to the familiar? Would we use this knowledge to help others? Or would we use it for personal gain?
It's a choice we'll all have to make.
We will.
And remember, Betty, Naomi's work is really dedicated to helping people reach their full potential. And if you're looking to explore these ideas further, you mentioned that you're an avid reader. Her book series, The Next Level You, is a great resource.
It is.
You can find it on Amazon.
Wonderful.
And, you know, ultimately, it's up to each of us to decide how we respond to this emerging reality.
That's right.
The choices that we make will shape the future.
Absolutely.
Not just for ourselves, but for all of humanity.
For everyone.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive, Betty.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We hope it sparked some new ideas and inspired you to keep exploring these fascinating topics.
Keep asking those questions.
Keep asking questions. Keep an open mind.
That's it.
And who knows what incredible discoveries lie ahead.
You never know.
Level 2, Quantum Healing Hypnotherapist Naomi practices hypnochanneling, a technique where highly hypnotized individuals channel energies to deliver messages from higher realms. If you've had paranormal or spiritual experiences or are interested in QHHT, visit healingandretreats.com. In a recent session, Naomi channeled the source energy, revealing that hidden technologies like advanced healing methods and portals may soon be disclosed through open contact. This revelation aims to inspire spiritual growth and collective awakening. Although humanity may initially feel shock, this awareness will ultimately foster unity, peace, and empowerment, shifting away from past limitations and corporate control.
Whatever is the appropriate energy to explain this part for me, that there are a lot of things that are being disclosed after I watched this program of Cosmic Disclosure. And I know there are many technologies, including 3D printing, use portal, and also other healing modalities that can heal any diseases are already here. But those technologies are not being released, but sold to certain corporations. So this part will be disclosed during the open contact, and that's what I like to know. And I think this is one of the most shocking facts. So whatever the appropriate energy can come through when I count to 3. 1, you're coming through this body, so I can ask you more questions. 2, almost here, and 3. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, thank you for coming through. Who I'm speaking with?
No particular name.
I'm sorry?
No particular name.
So is this what I just said is the case that will be disclosed to human?
It's already happening.
I'm sorry?
It's already happening.
So you are saying it's being disclosed, but a lot of people, because they don't see, so they will still not believe it.
Their mind hasn't comprehended the idea of such technology. It's not in their realm of possibility, but that will change in coming years.
So let's say, if we have the open contact, this will be revealed more, how to say?
In coordination together, not separate.
Right. And so can we see or visualize the technology at that time?
Consciousness would allow that to happen, yes.
So this will really make people become more awakened.
More spiritual.
Right, because
physicality will no longer be barrier anymore.
Right, so people will be shocked and also angry to understand that the technology has been ready for us, but it's being hidden on purpose.
People understand that these things were meant to happen. Things happen in their own time, and just because a select group of people wanted it for their own, that will not give an emotion of hatred towards them. It's just a role that they played, and the collective public will have that understanding.
So, are you related to, I'm not sure, let's say Galactic Federation?
Source, not the Galactic Federation.
The source. Thank you for explaining this. And also, I want to know, talking about source energy, I did a mushroom on Sunday. So that journey, I saw this source glory. That's how I feel. And it was vast and infinite love.
You did?
That was like metaphor, but it also can be a visualization for me to really feel it.
To give you a sense, yes.
So is this the first time I'm speaking with you?
You're always speaking to me.
Yes, I'm very...
Different forms.
And I feel every day raising, elevating my consciousness. I really want to be part of the ascension this time.
You've had that experience previous times.
Oh, also on Earth?
No.
On different planets?
Yes.
So is this the reason that I decided to come to Earth this time?
Yes. Who would best guide people than the ones that have already gone through it?
I see. But obviously I'm not doing this alone.
It's not meant to be that way.
So can you, because I never try to channel source energy.
Different forms. You're always channeling source energy.
So let's say Jesus is also source energy.
Yes.
Or Moses.
Yes.
And so I just really want this open contact to happen, and we cannot wait. And so can we say, in a way that I feel for thousands of years we have been on this planet, but because we did not evolve, how to say, spiritually enough, so we need this external help. But sometimes it's just, this is the way it is.
Civilizations from time to time require assistance. That being left on their own will create chaos beyond belief. And in order to secure the best outside assistance is needed.
So because they are another version of us, so it's not really interference.
We're all connected. There's no outsiders.
Right. But what is when we say we have free will here? So there are certain things others cannot interfere.
That is correct. Your belief system makes up your actions, and it gives you lessons to learn through those actions. It's meant to uplift you or to make you realize an error that feels it should not have been done, but it had to be done because it was a action that led you on a different path.
So everything will be changed.
Yes.
And that is almost hard to believe that in a short period of time that, let's say, the financial system, the education system, medical system, and food industry, everything will be replaced by a new system because we're ready for that.
Once consciousness gets at a certain point, everything follows.
And so let's say that this will happen either way because Earth, Gaia, needs to shift.
It's already happening.
It's
for
happening.
the planet itself.
So let's say Gaia will shift with or without us.
Yes.
And so those technologies, right, are being manipulated or sold to certain corporations, and so they don't want us to use the technology because then it hurts their benefits. So they are using certain technologies to make new products and then it still make us consume, right? We purchase. And let's say...
It's a never-ending game.
Right. And let's say...
They provide, you take.
Say it one more time.
They provide and you take. If you don't take and if you do not see the necessity of it, the whole world crumbles.
So why we have been supporting this for so long?
To have distractions in daily life.
And I feel one of the worst things on earth is money. And it's almost like drug.
The ruling system wanted that.
The ruling system. And so they feel, okay, let's use this to get them. So they will be...
One of the tools that they use, yes.
Because it's like the more we have, the more we want to have even more. So, right? So we'll be chasing the money so that it becomes like addiction. But it's worse an addiction than a drug. Because
you are climbing a wall, and each step you go, it's higher and higher each time. You see no end to it. And by the time you reach towards it, you see emptiness at the very end.
Right. And then what? And people don't understand. I have a lot of money. I have fame or power, but I still feel empty inside.
Yes.
But why, let's say, that's a lot of people feel, but why those people did not change because of that? They did not go within and say, maybe there's something else that it can give me joy and peace. But why we keep doing the same thing?
They do not know any different. It's giving a piece of leaf to someone, and they would wonder where that leaf came from, that single leaf. When you look behind the person that gave the leaf, they see a hold, an entire tree or forest, and then they start seeking the source of all that greenery. It's a similar process. You give, and then they start seeking more and more until they realize that what they were seeking is them.
But let's say, if there is no such, let's say, open contact, I think it will take, I don't know how long, but a very long time for us to realize, to want to have some changes on our own. I don't think most people are ready to say, I had enough. I don't want to live this way anymore.
Peace is not easy to come by. It takes effort. It takes support of each other. Without that, fear and instability will be in all places that you look at or feel.
Can you say one more time?
Peace is not easy to achieve.
Right.
Without the support of others and the recognition that each person can contribute, their value of themselves could contribute to everyone else. Without that, uncertainty and instability will be in all aspects of their life. And to achieve the greatness of individual self and collective self, support is necessary. Without that, nothing could be achieved.
So let's say other civilizations, they also went through things that we are experiencing?
Not all.
So this is
the society of their civilizations were built in different ideologies, different beliefs. Not all went through that similar route.
So let's say the one that I did something similar, what planet's system or way of living there? It's a long time ago.
It is. This body's preventing me from envisioning this.
Okay, sorry. I think it's happened before. And what this person needs to do to
be more open.
Oh, wow. So it's the body.
The books he has is one thing, but to have physical contact with these beings is another, and to see them in his dreams or astral journeys is another. He feels as if books is enough. To be introduced to them is a whole another standing. But it will happen. Not at this time, but it will happen.
So let's say a few days later, maybe this person, Kim, maybe you can channel through her body?
Can.
Usually she's more suited for this. So let's say, what did I do?
His is more he could give guidance in philosophical and practical advice. That is his expertise.
Right. You're talking about Navi.
Yes.
What he needs to do.
That's what he could provide the most benefit towards others. That's where he could provide the most benefit to others. The practicality of living their own life to the fullest.
So any
ordinary questions lead to extraordinary answers.
What other things he can do to be more clear channel?
Releasing of blockages. You already understand that.
He did some
openness needs to be there, like I said before.
And I suggested him to do the psychedelics and also sports. I think that also can help him to open up more.
They can. To be in the moment. Needs to wander. Needs to be in the moment.
So he's not most of the time in the moment.
No.
He's
always thinking 10 things at a time.
Oh.
Does not serve him at all.
Right. So he's going to listen to
just stick to one thought, one idea, let that finish, move on to the next.
Can I ask you this question? I learned that I had a dream. I was sleeping and I was seeing something, then all of a sudden I couldn't move. And I felt something is dragging me down. And it seems like it was an octopus. And the octopus does not want me to do anything to assist with open contact. Do you see that?
See an orange being, yes.
Oh, orange. He's on the floor?
No, peeking through.
Oh.
Was curious about your energy, not similar to his. Wanted to learn more about it, but did it in a way that was frightening to you.
So I tried for maybe a minute to move, and it was hard.
The abilities of this being is psychic is not the word. He's able to mimic his abilities to you, which it's unique to his own species. He's able to use you as a puppet, but not in a way that is harmful to you. He was just curious. So that sensation was what you felt.
I see. And
he'll come again.
I think it was not the first time. I had this kind of experience before, once a while, like a couple months.
Yes.
So I don't need to do anything?
No, just let it go as it's proceeding. No input.